Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 59 of Bonus Features with Alex and Robert. I'm Robert.
And I'm Alex.
So we begin, as we always do, with our 2-minute pointless interlude of sports that may or may not go over 2 minutes.
That's correct.
Where are we beginning?
Well, let's see. Blackhawks are kind of eating it. I think their season's done. And this time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try and make this actually 2 minutes or less. So, they win a game, or they'll win 2 games, but then lose 3. So it's just been rough. And I mean, that's the nature of hockey. I don't have much playoff hopes for the Blackhawks. I don't know if you've been watching.
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, there's not much to watch them for at this rate.
It sucks.
Yeah, it's no good. Bears.
Not as bad as they've been.
I mean, it's kind of too late because the wild card chase, we need a lot to happen for us to make it, and we have a tough remaining schedule.
Yeah, they've been scheming Mitch the right way, but very late in the season. Took him fucking 12 games to do it.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. He's a mobile quarterback.
Yeah,
He's an out-of-pocket pass. Like,
hey, wait a minute. This feller can scramble.
Yeah, like, what the hell, guys?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So that's that. Let's see.
UFC,
we got Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, Jesus Christ.
Colby Covington.
Yeah. So that's going to be an interesting one.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Well, everyone keeps saying how they're stylistically similar, except one of them beat Tyron Woodley. So I'm going to go with Kamaru Usman in this one.
It's a fair bet.
We'll see if I'm wrong 2 times in a row, because I got the BMF title pretty wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming up, we got Connor and Cowboy at welterweight, which makes it a lot more interesting, I feel like.
Okay.
Because that's the weight, or I can't remember if it was a catch weight or if it was welterweight for the Diaz fights.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right.
So he's fought at that weight before. Mm-hmm. I think Cowboy has a slight edge, maybe, just because he has experience at that, more experience at that weight class. Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck. We went over 2 minutes.
But not by much.
Okay, the point is, I think it'll be a close fight, and Connor gives up a little bit of size since it's welterweight. That's that. Amanda's Nunes going to probably steamroll Jermaine Duran, and then I got Holloway over Volkanovski.
Okay.
I think that's who he's fighting. Okay, the fact that I forgot, I'm going with Holloway. Yeah. That was almost 2 minutes. We tried.
Okay.
Unless we have any pressing matters in...
I got one.
What do you got?
Professional slapping tournaments. Have you not seen this?
Oh, those are great, yeah.
Those are amazing.
They really smack the shit out of each other.
Dude, that one guy...
I don't understand how people don't get, knocked out, all
some
the
of them
time.
The one dude is, kills people. What's his name? It's Vasily something. Huge guy.
Of course.
It's always Vasily or something.
Yeah.
That dude is great. I guess Dana White's trying to get that into UFC. Professional slapping.
Okay, so it's he comes from a jiu-jitsu background. He comes from a Muay Thai background. He comes from a slap tournament background. Jesus Christ, what's next? This guy, he came from a wrestling pedigree, but his friend over there, he came from an arm wrestling pedigree.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah. No, I don't have any. I don't have any news in slapping tournaments.
No, me neither. But the compilations of KOs are pretty cool on YouTube. That's for sure.
Wouldn't doubt it. So everyone forgets that. You don't need it to be a fist. You just need it to be going fast enough and hurt enough.
I just love how it's turn-based. All right, now you go. It's just fucking hilarious.
Any combat sport that plays out like an RPG game.
Like a Final Fantasy game.
Pokemon. Fable, you slap.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, man. All right, so that'll do it for sports. We tried to keep it short, and it kind of was. Anyway, on to the news. We start off with the trailer for the next installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that is, of course, for Black Widow. It takes place between Infinity War and Endgame, and it will be in theaters on May 1st, 2020. So, what are your thoughts on this here trailer for this here Marvel movie?
This is kind of semi-unrelated, but isn't it weird? Has it been this long of a gap between MCU movies ever? Or like since a long time? Because it's... When did Spider-Man come out? May? Or June? And then May of the next year?
No, it was July.
So like a near year after we're getting an MCU movie. That's pretty insane, right?
I think that makes sense. And I mean, in an ideal world, it might be even a few months longer.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they're trying to fight the fatigue or whatnot. But yeah, this was
one... Because the fatigue is really killing them at the box office, I right? It's really settling in.
They're not setting records or anything.
Nope. No siree, Bob.
No. No, but it's fair to say that this was anticipated by us. We liked the choice of director, Kate Shortland.
Right.
Writers were a little iffy on, and while I think as a trailer, I have mixed feelings. I still don't really. I'm not super worried about the movie because there's things in it I like, namely some of the focusing on hand-to-hand combat.
I was gonna say I think there's absolutely a lack of that.
I thought there was some, like, the glimpses of it is what I mean.
Other than Yelena and Black Widow's big fight, which looked really awesome, and I thought, more of this, please. Mm-hmm. But then I was also getting shades of movies that aren't very great, and I know I'm not the only one who said this. I was getting flashbacks of G.I. Joe.
Oh, okay.
That's the one thing that kind of bugs me about this trailer is... I understand that Marvel movies always have to have some big spectacle in them. I'm not an idiot. Mm-hmm. I get that at least the third act has to be kind of a go big or go home scenario. But at the same time, I kind of feel like this trailer just seems like it's a louder...
Don't be too big.
Like louder kind of like war movie rather than not like a super small movie, but a smaller spy movie. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of like... feeling like it should be a little more James Bond meets Bourne than, Avengers meets G.I. Joe.
Yeah, it's even got some like Hobbs and Shaw type shit.
Yeah, there's some CGI shots in this where I'm thinking like this looks fucking terrible. And I know, they still got some time to finish the effects. Then don't use those shots in the trailer. Mm-hmm. Where they're leaning on that smokestack. That was the one where I saw, oh, fuck, please don't be a bad movie.
Yeah, no, I really hope I'm with you. I hope they play this one closer to the pocket. Like,
right, I'm not saying...
Keep it more on the ground.
Yeah, I'm not saying it has to be staunchly based in realism, but at the same time, God damn it, I just want some pugilism and some, like, hanging out of, like, air ducts upside down and... doing the snake from fucking
Metal Gear.
I
think it's possible. We do get a little bit like there's not a whole. You're right. There's not a whole lot.
There's not a lot of subtlety.
There's like the Red Guardian Taskmaster fight.
A little bit.
The Elena Belova Black Widow fight, and then there's like a couple glimpses of like she like lands on a platform with like guys around.
Yeah, but you don't see anything. But there's just all this like rocket launchers and shit.
Like shit falling around.
Yeah, boom, crash. Okay.
What's the budget on this again?
Probably a lot. I don't know.
I wonder if it is going to be that much because I don't have information on it here. But I remember us saying something along the lines of like it not being that much, like maybe one of the lesser budgeted Marvel films. So I wonder. I don't know. I wonder how that's going to affect the scale because this does look pretty big. Maybe they are kind of just peacocking to be like, hey, guys, this is a big, MCU movie. Come and see this. But maybe it isn't as big as they're kind of letting on. I don't know. All I'll say is I still trust the director.
No, see, but that's the problem is I'm not really seeing many, like, other than the Yelena and Black Widow fight, I'm not really seeing a lot of shades of her stamp on this. And I know we've discussed this end on end, how Marvel is not exactly known for that.
Oh, you mean Marvel or Disney as a whole? Like having directorial anything?
Well, take your pick, because it's either.
I mean, and that's for some people, it's to their credit.
I just really hope that they didn't, like, overstep.
How so?
Well, in making it all explosions and helicopters and oh, she's got the snowsuit, she's got the. It's like, I understand that this is a superhero movie, you need spectacle, but it seemed like they're leaning heavily on like the dumb kind of spectacle that just doesn't look good. Like the CGI, the part where she's fighting in the midair with the machine guns. I'm like, this looks like crap. Like that shot looks bad.
I'm okay if it's on par in terms of scale. If it's on par with or less overall than Winter Soldier, I'm gonna be fine with it.
See, that's kind of the measuring stick, I'd say.
Right now, it looks like it could go either way.
Right, and that's why.
But it's worrisome that there are shades of like, okay, what's this about? Why are we flying?
Yeah,
she can't fly. She can infiltrate and like what do they call it? Halo
flying,
jump. But like she's like falling out of the sky, and it's like
some of that looks.
What is this midair fighting? Like that's not why I read Black Widow comics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a mix of intrigue and action. Don't just go all in on just the. Oh, man. Okay, like I'm trying to explain this in a way that makes sense. Even with dumb action, there's ways to storyboard it or choreograph it that can still look good. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of shots where I just felt like, yeah, that'll make people see this movie who never go to fucking movies except twice a year. Oh, yeah, have more CGI shots.
Yeah, no, I get it, yeah.
Like, this isn't Green Lantern or Thor. Mm-hmm. Just saying, maybe I'm being a little reactionary. It's just because I was...
You got a dog in this fight.
Well, I was rather excited about this one, and unlike everyone else, I really don't give a rat's ass about the whole, well, she's dead in the thing. I'm like, well, fuck that. I just want to see this movie anyway. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, that is kind of a problem, and that just speaks to a larger problem with the way movies are...
constructed.
Well, at least with franchise movies, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree.
It's just, I'd rather... So, the fact that I'm able to put that aside, I'm hoping that this isn't another victim of Marvel's kind of latest samey efforts. Yeah, that's kind of the problem I've had is I feel like the earlier Marvel movies, even though they were all kind of similar, I felt like they were distinct enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I see what you mean. There's a lot of differences between like Incredible Hulk and Iron Man, for example, and Thor and
Captain America.
Exactly.
Or even just in 1 year in
Guardians of the Galaxy
and Winter Soldier. About
couldn't be two more. I mean, they're similar-ish, but they're different in terms of subject matter and style. At times. Right, different enough.
They're different enough, and I kind of feel like this is just like. Oh, it's like all the S.H.I.E.L.D. people plus some explosions. Great. It's just kind of... We've seen... I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm just saying the way the trailer is cut gives the impression it might be. Mm. Obviously, I'm going to be there.
Oh, yeah,
because
same.
This is a character I really enjoy and has had really good comics and that I've liked thus far in the movie series so far. Mm-hmm. So I'll be there. It's just I'm a little more cautious about it moving forward.
Got you.
It could be a really good movie, or Florence Pugh just will continue to talk like Count Chocula. You don't know.
Yeah.
Or the Count. I'm going to punch you in the face, Natasha. 1 punch, 2 punch, 3 punches in the face.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, I'm teasing. That's an accent. I swear, like it never sounds good from anyone who's not Russian.
Yeah,
it's a tough one to do. It's like I think the hardest is probably South African.
Oh God, yeah, that's almost impossible.
I give I just straight up give people passes on that if they're not from there.
Except Leo. Leo pulled it off, kind of.
Kinda. See, that's the thing.
It's like there's
that's as good
words.
As it gets.
There's words. You're like, yeah, that's kind of how they say it.
Yeah, you almost got it. No one can, but you almost did. Yeah. Okay, but this looks okay. Mm-hmm. I'm just a little worried about the sameness.
Yeah, I don't blame
That'd be
you.
my bottom line.
It's starting to worry me too now that we're talking about it, but...
Yep. Well, we'll just have to, as we're so fond of saying, wait
shit on the movie preemptively.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
Yes, but wait and see.
Yeah.
But shit on the movie preemptively is also accurate. Speaking of which...
Oh. Oh.
Well, you said it's a perfect segue for this next one. We're talking about the No Time to Die trailer. So it's the latest 007 Adventures starring, what the hell is his name?
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. Almost called him Craig Daniel. This is Craig's last ride as Bond, and it's coming to theaters April 10th. Mm-hmm. So as we said, the title is No Time to Die, and you said that from Daniel Craig's perspective, you might as well call it
Somebody Kill Me, Please.
Yeah, that's
as you know, Daniel Craig allegedly, not even allegedly, he said in an interview, like, I'd rather, what did he say, like something like eat glass than play James Bond again or some shit, like
some grossly hyperbolic statement about not wanting to get paid millions of dollars to play a fictional character. Yes. Something along those lines. That's kind of sucks though, because without knowing, if I had no knowledge of that, I would say this looks pretty good.
You know what? I was going to say the exact same thing. I was like, I can't really tell. It's not like Ben Affleck in Justice League where you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
You're like, is this what? Well, Ben, what the fuck happened? Like, what did that? Someone
He just sounds world weary with every line he's delivering.
Oh yeah, because like every goddamn scene he's in was a reshoot probably, and like he just like didn't want to fucking be there. This is like, yeah, Daniel Craig's a pretty good actor for playing this character he doesn't want to fucking play. It's like he looks like he's in it.
Yeah,
there's
the cinematography and the stunt direction look particularly sharp.
Oh man, and that's you're gonna get that with the director, Cary Fukunaga, who's like pretty big on making good looking shit that's practically put together.
Right.
Not a big CGI dude.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen any of his shit. You have. You got a leg up on me.
Well, see, I'm sort of halvesies on him. I don't like his TV stuff, but it's like I don't like anyone's TV stuff, so that means nothing. But I really liked Sin Nombre. I thought it was a great movie.
I gotta see it. And there's a bunch of other stuff he's done too that I get to see, but it looks really fucking good. Like visually and like the set pieces. It's like I'm a simple guy. Like give me a James Bond movie. You start playing that thumping like James Bond like orchestral like dun 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 dun. It's like, all right, I'll see the fucking thing. I have questions.
Yeah, I have a question. Why is the other character, what's her name, Lashana Lynch? Why is she so goddamn annoying?
Here's where I'll give her this. It's like,
I'll shoot you in the knee, that works. Ooh, and it's just like, shut up.
At least she's not there to tell Brie Larson how great she is. At least she has something to do this time around.
Yeah,
It's like,
all right, fair enough.
Maybe this will be a Fred and Ginger type deal, or maybe, I don't know. Who the fuck knows?
Well, see, that's kind of what I was thinking. Is like, are we really going this, like, we don't get along route? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, you know what? If you make this work, fine. It's just that's not my favorite trope.
Yeah.
It's the way it's played out in this decade. It's not my favorite.
For sure, I get that. There are a couple set pieces.
The 80s we're no longer in.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah.
Because it's like there's a dime a dozen great buddy cop or, fuck you, no fuck you type dynamics between two lead characters that worked a lot.
Yeah. There are a couple set pieces that it looks like she's in that look good. Like there's one involving like she's in like tactical gear and like she shoots like a fucking like flare at like a transformer or some shit. I'm like, that looks fucking cool. It looks like a good movie. I'm very curious as to how they're gonna end this for Daniel Craig because it's become increasingly clear that they are serializing his Bond appearances, as was noted in Spectre. That hadn't really been a thing in any of the Bond movies. I know a lot of people that didn't like it. I kind of did because it's something they hadn't really done before, and it's not like he's only been in 5 of them, so like whatever. But I'm
only been in 5.
Well, I mean, like fucking Connery was in how many? 8?
No, I think it was.
Or Roger Moore was in like 8, right?
I think he was in. I don't know.
Connery
was in
like
a lot.
6.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I'm curious as to like this just. The whole thing about like, Bond, I thought you were retired. It's like, wasn't that the beginning of Skyfall?
Yeah,
like,
see, that's the other problem I had with this. I'm like,
Skyfall should have been the last one.
I think you're pretty much exactly 100% correct right there.
I mean, at the very least, like this movie could suck dick, and like I still would think it's the last one. It's like Skyfall is still like one of the best action movies I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like
it's
in
pretty
the
goddamn
past
good.
decade, like easily one of the best. So like I don't give a fuck if this movie sucks. There've been so many shitty Bond movies.
Yeah, but my problem is that April is not particularly crowded,
And it's a weird month for a Bond movie to come out. Admittedly,
I'm just saying, I know that out of all the April releases, as it stands now, I'm pretty sure this is the only one I'm really looking forward to.
I haven't even checked.
I don't have it in front of me right now, but I remember April being rather on the lean side. I don't remember there being a lot of big releases that I was particularly interested in.
Yeah.
Here, do you have April pulled up?
Yeah.
What do we got?
Peter Rabbit 2.
Barf.
New Mutants.
Well, we don't even know if that's actually going to happen, so.
Fatherhood?
I don't know what that is.
The Lovebirds? I don't know what that is.
I think I read about that. It didn't sound like my thing.
Trolls World Tour.
That is also not my thing.
Monster Problems. I've never heard of it. Antlers? Could be
probably.
whatever.
No, that looks. I've seen the trailer for that. It looks not great.
Yeah, it looks alright.
All right, the point is, April is a pretty shitty month, at least the way I see it. So
Yeah, it's kind of scant.
it would be rather disappointing if James Bond is no good.
Yeah,
Because you know what happens when big releases aren't good? I get desperate. And since I have AMC
Stubbs A-list.
stubs, that means I end up seeing other movies that are also horse shit because I'm just so desperate to watch something. I don't want to watch Trolls, man.
Oh, God, don't.
No,
Please don't.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd get that desperate.
Okay. I've seen the first one.
Well, see, I hate that movie because it's the metal guys or the bad guys because it's like the music worlds, and I thought, fuck you. The movie should be the opposite plot. Mm-hmm. It should be like all these cool, like little genres are just trying to exist and thrive, and then Pop is the bad guy. Like, no, fuck you. No guitar solos. No, stop that. No blast beats. What is that? Is that a banjo? Ew, no. Should just be Pop just ruining. God, that trailer. I can't believe I'm offended by a fucking cartoon, but here we are.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I'm deeply offended. In fact, I'm going to write an angry letter.
Strongly worded letter of
maybe start a tweeter campaign, whatever the fuck. Jesus Christ, I sound old as fuck. Well, tweeter, what are them kids call it now? I think it's like you go to a tweeter center.
The Tweeter Center. Oh man, that brings me back. Remember Tweeter?
Yeah.
Isn't that like an electronics company or some bullshit?
Yeah, I believe so. What? Okay, James Bond.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good, but because of the behind-the-scenes semi-issues, this could be a case of what I call last night. You know, the Transformers 6th or 5th installment, whatever, the Transformers movie. What I mean is, now, see, I knew better by whatever 6 movies in, but when the trailer for last night came out, I realized something about trailers. Some people just know how to cut them together and make a movie look awesome, even if it's horrible. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say that this will be horrible. I would say at worst it'll probably be on Spectre's level. So, like, not great, but semi-watchable, perhaps too long. Mm-hmm. That'd be my guess. But yes, once again, we are preemptively shitting on a movie before it comes out. So, unless you have any parting words, are we done with No Time to Die?
Nah, I think I'm good.
Yep, we're done with it.
We're done. I'm done.
Yeah,
I don't have time.
Yeah, we're just,
you will.
We're just finished. Just like Daniel Craig is.
Yeah.
All right, so up next, we've got a promo for Curb Your Enthusiasm Season 10. So one interesting thing I noticed about this promo, it's a lot more of people yelling at Larry than it is him yelling at others.
That's true.
I mean, it's not like a gigantic point to make, but I quite enjoyed this. I thought the beginning was particularly strong.
Which bit is that?
Well, 4.7 years
she's
ago.
wearing the top hat.
Was it Susie? Is that her name?
Yeah.
This is a show, man. It's been consistently good.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's on the level of like people even saying or entertaining the idea of like, is this a show that's better than Seinfeld? Is it better? Some people think it is.
I think that's I think there's episode. I think you'd have to go episode by episode.
See, that's what I mean.
Palestinian Chicken is not only the best episode of Curb, but that is one of the best written episodes. I mean, I know the improv loved it, but that was one of the best episodes of TV, period.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, don't they take kind of large breaks in between seasons?
They usually do, yeah. I mean, this show started in what, like 2004?
Yeah,
2005?
I feel like there hasn't been a season like every year or whatever.
Yeah, they've taken some pretty long gaps.
There was a big gap, if I'm not mistaken, relatively recently.
Yeah. Dude, the first episode air date was in 2000.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, they've clearly taken some breaks. I kind of like that they're doing that, though. I feel like that makes it feel, like they're less under the gun because of how frenzied TV production schedules can be when they're so by the numbers.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the worst panic attacks that Larry David said he ever had was when they finally greenlit, when the one show finally stuck, and that was Seinfeld, and that was one of the only shows that he didn't have like that many ideas about, and they said like, all right, well, green light, or like you got 20 episodes or whatever the first season was, and Larry was like, how the fuck am I going to think of 20 episodes of this goddamn show? So I mean, with Curb and HBO, they've been very accommodating with him being like, you know what, no, I'm gonna wait. Like,
but I think he can get away with that too because this show's been so consistently good for this long,
right?
So I'm looking forward to this.
As am I.
I will be on the lookout for season 10.
We will not be preemptively shitting on this.
Yeah, we're preemptively saying this looks great. Yeah. All right, so moving on to our next story. We have the trailer for Wonder Woman 1984, also known as Do You Remember 80s Things? Plus Greed is Good, the movie. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm being a little harsh. It looks okay.
Oh man, this trailer got me pretty hyped. Not like it's not my most anticipated movie of next year, but I'll
say this:
they did Blue Monday right.
Atomic Blonde used it better, but
sure.
But that's just me. Anyway, what they really should have used was "Cool It Now."
Yeah,
cool it now, cool down.
Oh god, that would have been something else.
I would have thought that was hilarious. If Shazam took place in the 80s, they'd use that for sure.
Yeah, they would have had to.
Yeah, and then he'd join on the mic on the rapping part, like Tony, Bobby, what the fuck that? Yeah.
Oh god.
I'll say this: I trust Patty Jenkins.
Same,
because the first one was so good. Though there's one major gripe I have. Why is she still fighting normal humans? She's supposed to be almost as strong as Superman. Why isn't she fighting god people? I mean, she's probably going to.
That's what I was going to say. Is she?
Well, she's going to fight Cheetah at some point. But
right.
I mean, all the major action scenes were her fighting humans again. I'm like, we did that already.
Yeah, I just like, I'm honestly okay with it if they find new shit to do, like the bit where she fucking she racks the slide of the gun and smacks the bullet out of the chamber. It's like that's fucking cool. Like that's just like a cool.
But she's fighting
shot.
Normal ass dudes.
I guess. I mean, to be honest though, like the least interesting fight in Wonder Woman 1 was when she was fighting a not normal person.
Well, which one?
Ares.
There's two of them.
Okay, well the general
well, that's because the Ares one was like shit's floating around. It wasn't really a fight.
You mean just like
it wasn't a fisticuffs proper? Because I would disagree with you.
It was like a powers fight. You mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was gonna say the last fight is against the general dude who's played by that guy who's always plays bad guys. Yeah. What the fuck is his name? He's a supreme that guy.
Danny Houston is his name.
Yes. Okay. So that fight was awesome.
That was a good fight.
I thought that was a really good fight. Mm-hmm. And
I think there'll be that. I think that'll be your cheetah fight, or maybe Maxwell Lord will get some sort of stuff. going on with
Question is
himself.
she going to snap his neck?
I fucking hope so. I do it. I kind of want to do it to be like, fuck you. This is canon in the This neck snap is canon, bitch.
Yeah.
Like just to fuck with journalists, kind of.
That's.
I don't know. Just it makes me laugh. But
Wait a minute. The last time they did that,
that's what I was saying. It'd be like,
so
it's like, well, then they can't fall back and like Superman would never do it. It's like, no, Wonder Woman did do it, bitch. She fucking murdered Maxwell Lord. It happened.
Yeah.
It's canon.
I wouldn't mind that.
I just like the visuals, like that scene where they're like in the jet and there's like fireworks and shit. I'm like, the fuck is going on? This is awesome.
No, I was like, this is stupid. This looks like a goddamn Disneyland ride.
But like, why? That didn't look cool.
No,
It doesn't look cool.
No, it looks dumb.
Why?
I'm not saying the movie looks, because I just explained it looks like they're at Epcot celebrating like 25 years of whatever the fuck ride has been there for 25 years.
Oh, like
now.
the Wonderful World of Colors.
Some horse shit. I don't know.
But it's just like I haven't seen that in a fucking movie.
Why does this need to take place in the 80s? Why not just make it take place now? I know that's kind of old hat, but
Third one probably will.
oh yeah, third. Why can't we just fucking just have it take place now?
All these conditions.
Yeah, okay. 2 conditions I'd like for Wonder Woman.
No fireworks.
No color and no fun. No joy to be had, because that's 3 conditions. No, but I'm just saying.
No, I get you.
Make her just fight people that are also superpowered. It's just a little more interesting.
I think we'll get some of it. I think they're underplaying the cheetah angle.
No, I mean, they're definitely underplaying the cheetah angle. We don't really see what she looks like other than her human counterpart. Mm-hmm. And I just have it take place now, but it's like one of those 2 things I'm obviously not going to get, and that's neither here nor there, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's just I'm just fucking tired of the like circle jerk for the 80s.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's
I mean, I get that they were awesome, but they're done.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to move on to the 90s soon, and then we're going to have to deal with that. They're already starting to do that.
And then Steve Trevor, which we already knew he's back, but it's...
Why?
Fine.
There's a mystery. What's going on with Maxwell Lord? Like, what's he up to? Why is he building malls? And, like, what's the sinister plan? Why is Steve Trevor back? How does Cheetah fit in? I'm interested. I always was.
Oh, I'm not in this. I feel like I have the exact same view on this as Black Widow. There's a lot here to work with that I do trust.
But there's no money shots in Black Widow.
That's true. There's a couple money shots.
There's a money shot for me in this that I know you didn't like.
The lightning thing. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I was like, this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen, and I love it. Because of course that would happen in a movie that takes place in the 80s.
All right. You know what? You got me there. I guess if there's a way to justify something that dumb, if it takes place in the 80s, fine.
I mean, it's just like a goofy-ass, like, Zeus lightning bolts and lasso of truth. And, like, if I were reading a comic and Wonder Woman did that shit, I'd be like, wow, this motherfucker that's writing this is like, a wacky motherfucker.
Sure. There's one thing I do want to talk about while on the subject of lightning.
Who dat?
Well, she was saying in an interview, Paige Jenkins was, we did all this practical effects, and I thought, really? Doesn't look
How did you do
like
this?
Have you found a way to harness lightning that
matter?
I'm unaware of?
Yeah. I don't know how you did that, Patty.
And the truck flip looked like it was CGI.
That was like not a real truck flip.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this will probably be good. I'm not that hyped for it.
I'm the good thing about Wonder Woman for me was very much like the first Black Panther, but better.
Right.
In that it was a really, really solid starting point, and it was a really great starting point, I think.
Yeah.
But it was room to grow. They left enough room to grow, and I hope they can get there with this. I mean, there's only 2 fucking DC movies coming out next year.
Yeah.
And there's a lot riding on them.
Birds of Prey. Ooh. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. In comparison to Birds of Prey, this looks a whole fuck ton better. Because, like, Birds of Prey, I'm really iffy on. I'm like, I don't know. Okay.
They're throwing curveballs at us, like,
Yeah.
the movie's this now, and this is going to happen, and we're
Right.
like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Okay. You know what? When you put it in that perspective, I'll say this. I kind of have a similar feeling about this as I do, what the hell was it? Like No Time to Die. Mm-hmm. Like, at worst, I don't think this will be, like, awful or anything like that. I think it might fall short of the first movie.
So if this were a script, you'd be consider with reservation.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get that. I'm on sort of I consider for sure, but I do get the concerns. They're there. I mean, fuck, sequelitis, man. It's a thing.
Well, that's the other thing is I feel like in the last decade in particular, I can barely name sequels I like better than the first. Other than
Like Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Yeah, I'm talking from like 1s to 2s. So I'm not counting like Mission Impossible 5 and 6 or whichever the hell ones they're on
okay.
now. Which I'm talking about going from 1s to 2s in this decade. Like Winter Soldier is really the only one I can think of. Like Guardians of the Galaxy went from one of my favorite movies in all of the MCU, and then the second one is might be my very least favorite of all the MCU movies. Or at least
Maybe
like
one of them.
Bottom 3. It's not good.
Yeah, there's been a distinct lack of great sequels or great.
Like Hobbs and Shaw was like the more I think about Hobbs and Shaw, the more I think it was a pretty shitty movie.
As a sequel?
Well, okay, that's not a sequel. I guess.
I was gonna say that's like the eighth movie.
Spin off, whatever the fuck. Anyway,
No, I get what you mean.
no,
There is a distinct lack.
or like the latest Spider-Man. I didn't really like the first one, but the second one's not that good either. Or It Chapter 2, like. Okay, if I was a betting man, I would say that I think Wonder Woman will probably be better than a lot of sequels have been. I just there's just things about it that I think might not make it as good as the first one.
Sure, the period mostly, right?
Well, it's the period, and it's also I could be way off on this. It's the certain things feel like they're being repeated.
Like the Steve Trevor thing.
Steve Trevor and fighting normies again. If they can find a way to make both those things work or change them up in a way that isn't shown in the trailer, then I'm all for this. And I guess at the end of the day, though, I trust Patty Jenkins.
Same.
So looking forward to this, but as you said, I have some reservations.
Sure.
But we'll just have to
Shit
on it preemptively before it comes out.
Right.
And wait and
wait and
see. Okay. We're going to keep the negativity train moving.
But different kind.
Yeah. So we're all looking forward to that Mortal Kombat movie, right? Coming out March 5th of 2021. Except that it's not coming out that day. It has been moved to January of that year. So January 15th of 2021. Now, normally this wouldn't be a big story, but as we all know, January is where, how do I put this? Studios, when they have a movie where they feel like they've wasted a lot of money making it and think it looks like a pile of shit, they generally move them to January because they're not feeling too hot about them.
So let's use this analogy. Robert's going to get a little dark here.
Okay, here we go.
June, July, and May are like the Mayo Clinic. January is hospice care.
Wow.
That's where movies go to die.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's fun to watch movies die because you get some of the best movies ever to come out in January and not for the right reasons.
Oh my God, you've stumbled upon something.
What's that?
See, well, as we know, one of the greatest films, I don't know if it came out in January, but...
Mortal Kombat Annihilation?
Right.
I could have swore it came out in January. I might be wrong,
Okay.
but I remember that being a distinct January release.
Point being, think about this. We have another Mortal Kombat movie coming out, and it coming out in January. Do you think that could be the writing on the wall? Could this be the next Annihilation?
It could be. Mortal Kombat Annihilation came out in November.
Okay,
So I don't know. Man, Well, there are a lot of bad January movies.
Right, but do you realize what this means? We have a Mortal Kombat movie coming out in January. There's a very good chance this could be one of the best shitty movies of all time. if we are so lucky as for that to happen.
Yeah.
I will say this though, I am honestly shocked by this.
Why is that?
Well, it seemed like they were rather what's the word? They seemed pretty confident in this. They were releasing a lot of casting information. Mm-hmm. They had, some little press releases about what's it going to be about, who's going to be in it, and like little story details. Mm. It seems like this would be a rather large tentpole movie.
It could be.
Or like one of their medium large movies. Mm-hmm. So for them to kind of put all this investment in it, and then now they're kind of saying, well, maybe not.
It's an interesting move. I like that it's coming out sooner.
I do too.
But January is kind of an amazing development. You're like, oh.
Yeah, because it kind of takes the wind out of this movie's sails, and we've seen nothing for it. I think that's really what it is.
That's another interesting thing, because this movie's not done shooting even.
Yeah.
So have they seen like an assembly of it, or have they seen footage of it and they're like, guys, we gotta fucking sell. We gotta sell now. January.
This guy just has set photos. Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Is this like a relay race at a day camp? No, sir, that's the movie. Oh, fuck. Yeah.
They're making Sub-Zero costume out of like that fucking foil tubing they use for like laundry fucking exhaust pipes.
Oh god.
We gotta fucking sell.
Yeah.
Oh god, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is this seemed like something they're investing a lot of time in, mm-hmm. and now all of a sudden they're almost preemptively pulling the plug on it. Not completely, but. Mm-hmm. At least they're kind of going back on something that seemed like it was going to be a bigger movie.
Pulling the plug, more medical terminology.
Well, yeah, lots of it today. But think of it this way: imagine if a DC or a Marvel movie got moved to January.
That would be astounding.
That'd be a shitstorm.
Yeah, that'd be a big fucking news story.
And wouldn't you say if Mortal Kombat was done right, it has all the reason to be maybe not as successful as like Avengers Endgame, but at least as popular as some of these other R-rated comic book movies like Deadpool or Logan?
I absolutely think so. And I think that honestly, this isn't even really like a hot take. I'm kind of shocked they haven't even considered building a cinematic universe with solo movies based on these characters.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, no,
but with the resurgence of the games recently,
right.
It's kind of a hotbed of fandom right now. And if done right and treated correctly, they could, and they're not expensive. Like the first Deadpool's what?
$58.
You could make a fucking Kano movie for $30 million.
Yeah.
Or like a Drax movie for $40.
Yeah, but
it's a gamble. But still, there's a lot of material there, is what I mean.
I mean, I agree with you, but part of the problem is fighting games, their stories are so intertwined with each other.
Yeah, that's true.
And as we learned, they tried this with a certain Street Fighter film.
Yes.
Which was so fucking bad, but I kind of love it.
I don't think there'll ever be another solo fighting game character movie ever.
Yeah,
because of it.
They might be a little more cautious because of Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li.
Are we a decade out from that movie yet? Is the half-life of that movie
I think
still
it was
in effect?
2009.
Oh, God.
Okay, I'm just saying, if this was any other bigger franchise that had any sort of establishment, this would be a gigantic deal.
Yeah, it puts in perspective.
So that's why I think this is really, I don't want to say baffling, but it's very surprising.
Yeah, but also kind of encouraging in ways.
Well, it's encouraging if you're putting in January, this means if it, like let's say it was going to be a regular bad movie, like in April, this means there's a higher chance of it being a hilariously bad movie.
Right.
Man, well, I would...
If only.
Yeah. Only in a perfect world would we see a movie that's worse than Annihilation.
Oh man.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to wait.
Preemptively hope
well, I
it
was going to
sucks.
say wait. Yeah, preemptively hope it sucks. Yeah.
So a lot of things we have to just blank.
Yeah, we just have to just blank. So moving on, we've got our next story. It's the Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer. Please let it die. Please let it die. Prequel, sequel, and twinkle gives a fuck. All I know is that it's gonna suck. Alright, so our last story will just be a quick one. Mini speed round! So there's a trailer out called Escape from Pretoria, starring Daniel Radcliffe. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
I just want to make sure I'm getting it. Yeah, Escape from Pretoria.
They're not going to Pretoria, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're leaving it. It's based on a true story. Don't remember the guy's name, but the guy's name is Tim Jenkin. And the story is about him and other anti-apartheid activists escaping from prison. But anyway, yeah, it looks good.
It looks pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, it looks real good. It'll probably come out nowhere.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those movies we're just going to have to see it later on demand. Looks pretty good, though. That'll do it for the news. And now we move on to the review portion of the podcast. And it wouldn't be the Christmas season if we didn't review another awful Vanessa Hudgens Netflix movie. So in accordance with tradition, we viewed The Night Before Christmas.
Isn't this just like the award? This should get an award for title that most definitely not thought of before the fucking plot of the movie, or by a studio executive with a shit-eating grin on his face.
Yeah, sounds about accurate. So we gonna go non-spoilers to start or no? Because
Well, what's this movie about?
well, this movie is about a knight who, like a medieval knight, gets sent back, or not, sent forward in time to our time, in the small town of
Bracebridge, Ohio.
Bracebridge, Ohio.
You know, she didn't have the town name embroidered on
Right?
her hat.
See, I was gonna say,
so I didn't know where she was from.
right, this is the problem. She didn't have a hat that said, you know what the fucked up thing is? Like, I'd believe someone in that town would have that hat.
Yeah, go Bracebridge Bracers.
Yeah, or whatever. Or no, it wouldn't say Bracebridge Brace. It would just say,
Bracebridge, yeah, town.
yeah, no, I'd believe that more than I would a hat that just says Chicago. Real blown opportunity there.
Oh, of
all right.
course.
So she's a teacher, and she's all, my ex is still in town, and
Sucks.
yeah, he sucks, and I think, I'm a hopeless romantic, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden this knight shows up. And where does he end up? With Vanessa Hudgens. Or, I basically spoiled the plot, whatever. You could have figured that out. It's not exactly, this is Hamlet, this is not.
No.
So, yeah, we've discussed the serious lack of hats that say the location on them. Yeah, but if I'm just being serious, I think the fish out of water element didn't go hard enough in the paint.
No, he kind of comes out of... First of all, oh my God. He fucking is in, what is it, Norwich, England?
Yeah.
And he goes... He travels through time and space. So it's not like he wakes up and he's in England, the same exact spot in 2019. He, goes to 2019 and then Ohio.
Yeah.
Why? Fucking why? Don't say fucking because they have to fuck. I get it. I get they have to fuck. But why her? That's one of my biggest issues with this movie. He sees the old crone, the old bitch. He might as well call her.
Yeah.
And she's like, you have to go on a quest. But we never find out why.
And certainly there's no quests here. You gotta go to this place.
Yeah, you gotta go to Ohio, said no one ever.
Yeah. Part of the problem I had with this is, they didn't make it nearly goofy enough.
No, he comes out and it's fucking... He just looks a little weirded out.
He looks a little weirded out and he blends in a little too much. So that's why we've decided to do an in-review bit that we'd like to call If I Were Writing This Movie. where we armchair screenwrite a few scenes in an attempt to make this movie a little more interesting. So we're just going to pitch a few ideas for scenes now. We'll alternate. Would you like to go first?
I'm going to rank... this movie would be written not so fun. So there's a scene in the beginning where he's, like, loping around the house, like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
Is this a freezer?
Yeah.
He sticks his head in the freezer. This movie would be done. I'd have him stick his head in the oven. And it would be like, it seems that the sauna is operating through... Oh, why does it smell like my horse's farts in here? Oh, passes out, and the movie's over. Or, like, I don't know, he would die of the common cold or something. God damn it, I wanted this movie to end so fucking bad.
I didn't hate it nearly that much.
Oh, God.
Okay, so if I were writing this movie, you know the part where she gives him the keys to her car? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, so here's how it'd go. Oh, lady, whatever your name is, can I have your car? And then she'd say, sure. And then he'd be like just plowing things over and like there'd be a trail of dead behind him and he'd park it and it'd be like in pieces and it'd be about to, no, and then it would explode. And then it'd be like, do it after it's exploded. And then what would happen is he'd get freaked out by the police cars when they'd show up, and he'd be like, oh my, more dragons, and they're on fire. And then he'd be like, have it thee, and like take out his sword, and they'd throw it through the windshield of the cop car, and then it'd just be a shit show. It'd look like a GTA, but with a knight.
Would it end in him getting killed by said police officers?
No, because the crone would show up and he'd say, I need more magic. And she's like...
Bro, you fucked this whole thing up. I had more faith in you than this.
No. She decides, ooh, this is not looking good. We better kill all the witnesses. So she gives him magic powers temporarily. And he becomes basically like...
Death?
A god. And then just like... I don't know. He just like... nukes the whole town.
This is pretty awesome. I mean, I was just going to say kill him so that the movie can end fast, kind of like my idea, but that works too.
All right, so that'd be one of my ideas. What's your next one?
My next idea would be, you know that fucking weird, horrible, dumb, stupid, bad scene? Which one?
Which one?
The scene where the two girls are like talking about like, I don't have gloves because my dad sucks ass.
Yeah,
and, doesn't like us talking about how we have basic needs for shit.
Right.
My dad gets sad when we say we need clothes.
Yeah.
Like, I would have rewritten the scene as thus. Here. Take this extra pair of gloves. My hands are starting to get sweaty. You had this extra pair of gloves.
The whole time?
Well, yeah, we're building an igloo. I'm going to kill you. And then they would kill each other.
Okay. You know what? That's a nice dark homage to Dumb and Dumber. Okay. Similarly, if I were writing that scene, here's what would happen. You know the part where she says, I can teach you to fight like a real knight. So what would happen is the one girl just smacks the other right in the face and just knocks out all her teeth. And then the mom gets real pissed. And then she sees what happens. She grabs a butcher's knife out of the kitchen, and then she stabs the knight because she's so angry.
He taught her this dastardly game of stick fighting.
That's right. All right, so what do you got next?
So you know all those shitty ass scenes where they're like trying to kiss and like something interrupts them?
Yeah.
So like it would just keep getting like ridiculous as the movie went on. So like first like they would start to kiss and like a cell phone would go off.
Yeah.
And it'd be like an Uber Eats driver like calling to confirm like the delivery of a Fuddruckers order that neither of them made. And then the next time like they're trying to kiss and there's a knock at the door and it's the Uber Eats driver who shows up at the house with the Fuddruckers order. And then finally, like, they've shooed the guy away, and they're alone, and they're about to kiss again. There's a horrible crash as an entire Fuddruckers restaurant drops from the sky and crushes the house. This fucking movie made me hungry. It made me feel like I was living on a fucking desert island for 3 weeks.
Wow, there's a lot about when you said knock at the door, I thought it was gonna be like a singing telegram.
A Christmas gram?
It had to be you.
Oh my god. It's just like every tired trope ever. Oh, we can't kiss.
Yeah. Oops, there's a crack in the floor or some shit. I don't know.
I fell.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. If I were writing this movie, when they're in the, in the scene when they're in the cafe, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, I guess it's spoilers, by the way. Anyway, the scene when they're in the cafe, and she talks about his ex, like he wouldn't even ask. It would be like, yeah, there he is. Have at the and he'd just like chop off his head. And it's just like, you can't do that. Oh, I'm sorry. And then he'd like try and tape it back on. Be like, old crone, it seems I have made a grave error. And just for the hell of it, instead of there being a big panic, a classic like saloon style brawl breaks out instead. So shit would go down after he cuts off, Vanessa Hudgens' character's ex-boyfriend's head.
Okay.
Like there'd be a battle. It would ensue.
Well, this is just a better movie.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Oh,
so
man.
You got one more, or did you use up all your...
I think I used up most of them. I mean...
All right, so I got one more.
Okay.
Like, this just needs to happen. So when he first gets there, she just sees him out in the yard, and he's just like, oh, man, gotta drop a load. Just, like, starts digging a hole.
In the snow? Or in the lawn?
No, well, in the snow and the lawn.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, oh, it's too late. I've already started.
If I were him, I would have that scene happen before he's built. Remember, he's building the fire and he's going to try and kill that skunk?
Yeah.
I would just have him shit on the logs because that's going to help the fire when he tries to light it,
What? No.
Because it's biofuel.
No, dude. I think, sure.
I mean, it wouldn't make the skunk taste good if you're going to cook the skunk on shit fire, biofuel fire.
Oh, here's another one. I would have made him already eat the skunk.
Yeah.
And he'd just smell the whole movie. And then she'd just
That's the conflict.
There we go.
Like, I love this guy, but he just smells like shit.
But she would also grow to hate him. Mm-hmm. Because this movie really went out of its way to avoid conflict.
Oh, man.
All right, so no,
right.
but he would definitely be taking a shit in the lawn. That's my other if I was writing it.
Yeah, no, there would be shit involved.
And she would tell him to stop, and he'd be like, I've already started to drop a thine logs.
The Yule logs.
Yeah, yes, that's right. I've already started a...
Oh, God.
Why isn't he speaking Old English, by the way?
Yeah.
No, I mean...
Why all of this movie?
Yeah. All right, so that's our view if we were writing this.
Yeah.
He would there'd be some antics involving Fuddruckers. He'd be shitting in the lawn. He would have ran over several people on the way to the drugstore or whatever, and
fights over gloves.
Yeah, basically a lot of people would be dead.
That's fine.
This would be a great horror action thriller drama.
Christmas extravaganza.
Extravaganza, yes.
Oh my word, this movie.
All right, so so getting past what we would do to make it better. Mm-hmm. She's wearing all these weird outfits. Like she's wearing these clothes. She's wearing these pants. It's like they look like Aikido pants that were made out of a picnic table. Like I don't get it. She's a teacher and she's dressed like some Instagram influencer or some shit.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I just didn't get she didn't have the vibe like this is an educator.
I knew what the fuck I was in for when they literally say in the first 10 minutes of the movie, there's just not going to be some knight in shining armor for you.
Oh,
there's just going to be a frog. And I'm like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. I see what we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
I get it. Oh, man.
It's also just kind of weird how everyone just goes along with it eventually.
They think he has amnesia. They think he gets hit by a car.
Yeah, the main conceit is that he really is a knight from 1344, whenever he's from. But everyone thinks he's just a crazy dude. And then after a while, they're just like, yeah, this is cool. Also, the idea that
this guy's safe around kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's have this stranger who thinks he's from medieval England. Yeah, no, he's going to stay with me for a little while.
Yeah, and he can drive my car, which we've already joked about. But, like, why the fuck did you let him drive your car? Right. What did you think was going to happen? He was going to snap out of his amnesia during the fucking driving of the car? Maybe? You fucking idiot. Do you like that car? What the fuck? Or
on the flip side, if he really is from that time, how on earth would he know how to drive a car? I'm surprised. That's what I'm saying. The scene was, they should have made him at least, like, hit some shit. Maybe not, like, run over people and have, like, a Trail of the Dead, like I suggested. But at least, like, knock a bunch of shit over and, like, really get a good fender bender.
Oh, man. There's so much. I mean, that would have been too much, though, right? That would have been too much effort.
I mean, yes, it would require some stunt coordination.
Which maybe this movie did not have.
Budget to wreck a car.
Let's talk about that fucking icy pond scene. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, dude,
no, that's my favorite. They're like, oh, I don't know where they went. I looked like 3 feet in front of the house, and I just...
Look, footprints right there. I didn't even fucking kneel down to look at them in the white snow. Right there.
God, they're like 100 feet away from the house. I didn't know where they went. You lazy ass.
Dude, there's going to be 3 scenes this year. The scene, the Murray Franklin talk show scene. The scene where fucking Cliff Booth is confronting the Manson people in the house, in Rick Dalton's house. And Sir Cole trying to save this girl from that ice. From this, it's
just
like
exhilarating.
It's the most chilling, no pun intended, spine-tingling scene I've seen all year.
Wow, it's just mesmerizing.
It is a master-crafted...
I say as I yawn.
Yeah, no, it is a obscenely well-crafted set piece of tension and drama and the will to survive.
She's just standing there. I'm scared. And then he suggests...
I believe every word.
Have you ever seen a snail get on your belly and crawl to me?
Crawl slower than a snail, he even says.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He's a dummy. There's no doubt about that. It's, I don't know. Also, we do have, this is, again, small potatoes compared to what's wrong with this movie. We have the classic Hallmark Netflix Lifetime. Thanks, sis. Just in case you don't know we're related.
Oh, my God.
They always have at least one of those in these movies. Thanks, brother. Thanks, sis.
Your dad would be proud of you.
Yeah.
Oh, would be? Is her dad dead? That's so sad.
Oh, God. All right, so I guess we'll move on to... We've already moved on to spoilers, but...
Do they get together? Wait a minute.
Let me think.
Do they fuck?
Not on screen?
No, but I know that's the reason why this movie happened, is that creepy old crone just wanted to see these 2 young people bang.
She's just like in the corner, like licking her lips. Like
that's kind of borderline what happens. There's there's that one weird shot where like they walk away and she's just like in the half corner of the frame, like,
oh, yeah,
you walk away. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I got a question. What's up with that one student who she just keeps running into everywhere? Including Christmas Eve. Oh, Miss whatever, Vanessa Hudgens teacher person. Gives a shit what her character's name is. I took your advice, blah, blah, blah.
I burned every bridge with every male classmate I've ever had.
Yeah, I'm only focusing on my goals. And she's like,
no, you fucking idiot.
No, you should tie yourself down.
Yeah.
Tie yourself down.
Fuck your goddamn education up.
Yeah, don't follow your dreams.
Probably do drugs.
Yeah, this movie had a weird message about that. It's like...
Give all your clothes away? And like...
That's not what
fight each other with sticks?
That's not what I was... I was referring to the fact that it's like, you know, oh, you need to get yourself a fella, but don't, like, be independent, but don't be too independent. I don't know.
Also, the fucking message is so goddamn confusing in that, like, remember that one part at the end where it's like, he's like, I have to find out what my quest is. And they're like, he has a weakness or some shit. And they're like, like, it's supposed to be like his weakness is he doesn't have a heart. And I'm like, when is that ever demonstrated? The movie starts out, and he's like a really good brother. Seems like a good dude. And, like, at the end, like, they have the audacity to be like, he, like, looks at her and what does he say? He's like, you made me feel good about myself. I'm like, you didn't fucking already have that in the beginning of the movie? What the fuck?
Well,
what is going on?
Here's the other thing. He's like, you don't, like, Like, if in modern times, it's like, you mean you don't die automatically if you get diarrhea?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to stay here. You mean there's machines that clean your clothes for you? Like, fuck this. I'm not going back to Norwich. Like,
You mean I don't have to take the bucket of poo out from under the lavatory and dump it out? It just goes elsewhere?
you mean this waterway? Someone has built an aqueduct for the duty.
Well, I'm not sure I want to drink the water here. Where's the water that you drink come from?
You mean there's purified water in bottles?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, hand soap? Whoa. Okay, that's it. I'm not going back. You guys got hand soap. I'm in. Like, he's like, well, everything seems to be wrapped up in a great big bow if I stay here. I better go back to my shitty time.
Yeah, and as Sir Cole is banishing Alexa to the freezer realm, I was banishing my brain to the 87,000th circle of hell with this movie watching experience.
That was also there's at least 4 or 5 times where I went, ugh.
How's that?
Like cringed.
Oh,
physically.
4 or 5?
Well, more than that.
There was quite a few.
But one time was when he was trying to. Oh, look, I've learned American slang. That was lit AF. I thought, oh my God,
It was
please.
like that, the fucking Emmanuel Shrieky scene. Just like, say good night to the good night. I'm like, I'm going to jump out my window. Like, it's right fucking there. I'm looking right at it.
Yeah, she looks familiar. Where's she from?
She was on Entourage, and she was in...
okay, that's where
she's
from.
been in some stuff.
Okay. So this movie just has a who's who of, that person was in something a long time ago.
Yeah.
That people watched.
Oh, boy.
Let's see.
The boyfriend thing never gets resolved. It just gets resolved by, like...
she's like, oh, no, I keep seeing him.
And
like,
then she just stops.
Yeah, I thought, like, maybe this could be a plot point, too. Like, she cheats on the boyfriend or some shit. Like, or cheats on the night.
There's just a bunch. There's a bunch of those B stories that don't fucking go anywhere.
Yeah.
The neighbor, like, what the fuck was going on there? Remember that? The red-haired neighbor chick, and like she comes up and gives the mistletoe to Sir Cole. You think that like she's kind of trying to move in?
No, that's what I'm saying. This movie went so out of its way to avoid conflict. Because remember, there's a point where she says, "The mistletoe. That means we have to kiss." But I'm not gonna because
I'm not really a bad guy. I just suck.
Yeah.
I'm the writer of this movie giving up on any fucking anything mattering.
Bleep, bloop, blop.
Yeah,
I have lost my purpose. She's like she's just a robot.
These movies make me sad.
Yeah, this movie was
This is like the saddest movie I've ever seen, like Beyond the Green Mile even.
Yeah. Okay. But seriously though, the ending when the knight comes back, I mean, I know second act turning points are often lazy in romantic comedies. But Jesus Christ. Let me guess. He comes back?
He's got the horse this time. She gets a puppy. And did you ever see, like, that is like the most muted reaction I've ever seen to a child, a family getting a puppy. They're just like, wow, a puppy. And like, that's it. They're like, all right, let's go. And the dad's like, that's a good name for the dog. Miracle. And the kid's like, fuck you, Dad. I'm going to name him Knight. And I'm like, people cry when they get dogs.
Puppies,
like, fuck this. This is bullshit. I don't believe you. No. And it's not even the girl's fault, the little girl. It's just like, this movie is so fucking... It's every goddamn issue I have with Princess Switch. It's just such an inauthentic, evil movie. It makes me so sad. These movies are like my kryptonite. I don't mean like my guilty pleasure. I mean like will cause cancer. Will cause Kryptonian cancer in me, kryptonite. And you put me through this every goddamn Christmas.
Oh, no, yeah. I see, I'm just a Machiavellian schemer who, from time to time, likes to trick people into watching bad movies.
We got to do it. Someone's got to do it.
I mean, well, like, I honestly thought the trailer kind of gave an impression, like, because I did the physical cringe a few times while watching the trailer. I thought it would just be, like, that bad the whole time. But as I said, I think its main problem is it just doesn't dig in hard enough.
No, I went into it pretty cold, and I was the same way. I was like, this is nowhere near the fish out of water. The fish out of water stuff, it's just like he comes out of the fucking fog, and he's just like looking around, making the Johnny Depp face. Like what's going on? And like people come up and selfie with him, and it's just like this is every bit what you expect it to be. It's not funny. It's not sweet.
I've got one more. If I were writing this,
oh God.
What? Mind if I put on some music? Mm-hmm. She just puts on like grindcore. Yeah.
Those monks are chanting some sort of incantation.
Yeah. So it's pretty terrible. We're moving on to scores here.
Please.
All right. I'm gonna give this a 1 out of 5 and a 1 out of 2 bombs.
I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, okay, so we're giving it identical scores. It wasn't.
Oh man,
it didn't do anything in an interesting way when it had It had plenty of chances to, and that's I think its biggest fault. Not that it was boring; it's that it had a chance to not be.
I mean, I'm gonna say some shit that's like borderline hyperbolic, but like for me, and this is just subjectively speaking, like I consider movies like this to be like kind of a fucking assault on all other movies that are trying to do anything. And that includes like even movies that I don't fucking like Beach Bum. That was trying something.
Yeah, that's
this
true.
Shit is just like, like you said, like beep boop bop. Here comes like shitting out Hallmark remake bullshit, and I'm like, God, I done goofed again. They got me again with one of these fucking things.
It's like, oh, here comes conflict. Beep, boop, bop. No more conflict. Happy movie. Even when she gets, like sort of dumped by the night, she's like, oh, no, it's okay. Because he was cool. She should have been like, fuck this guy.
Fuck his brother's fucking night ceremony.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Also the brother's like, no, bro, just go back in time. I don't ever want to see you again.
Yeah, why the fuck did you come back? I fucking hate you. So what is that? A 3 out of 15?
Well, hold on. I gave it a 1 out of 5. Yeah, that's a 3 out of 15. That's
Mother of God.
that's pretty abysmal. So that'll do it for our review of. Did they really have wreaths in the 1300s?
I don't fucking know. It was Deck the Halls really a thing? Because he comes in the rooms like, Alexa, play Deck the Halls.
Was that because he learns it? I don't know.
Or like Santa. Like, wasn't Santa Claus like...
There was like I thought like modern Christmas didn't exist till the 1800s.
Yeah.
Whatever. This
movie sucks.
The movie.
All right, now we move on to our final review of this Christmas edition of Bonus Features with Alex and Robert. We review the first Home Alone from 1990. This is directed by Chris Columbus, and it stars, of course, Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, Catherine O'Hara. It tells the story of a young boy named Kevin who's stuck home alone for Christmas.
And robbers are trying to break into his house, but Kevin is no fool, and he ain't no slouch, and he's going to defend his house.
Yes, it's his house. He has to defend it.
That's right. So this is God-tier Christmas movies. I might even go as far as to say this might be the best Christmas movie. It's like a toss-up between this and like A Christmas Story for me.
Yeah, it wavers every now and then. Like it'll be this, A Christmas Story one year. One year I'm really feeling Elf.
Yeah, I was going to say that'd be my... I would say that's my holy trinity.
I'm a big fucking... what the fuck is the movie called? It's so good I forgot. It's Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
That movie's dope.
All right, so the point is this is really, really up there. And this is a classic review, so we're going full spoilers the whole time. And, I mean, this is an obvious perfect score. So
yeah,
we're not going to be real formal about scores.
You know what we're both going to give it.
This is like as a clear as day perfect score for me as it gets.
Well, I was going to talk about how this movie semi-quasi has not a personal connection to you, but like there's like...
it spoke to me as a youngest child of the family.
Also with regard to the location.
Yes, I know the locations quite well.
I mean, the movie was filmed where you grew up, partially.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't know if the entire movie was filmed in Northern Illinois, but like...
Yeah, all of it was.
So, I mean, must have been pretty crazy growing up.
Except for...
the France shit. Or was it not?
Well, yeah. There's like that stuff was
Studios.
studio. That's what I meant to say, and I think what they do with a lot of, I mean, they do this with movies all the time. Is they shoot a lot of interiors
On a soundstage.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But what was that like growing up? Like literally a fucking stone's throw from the Home Alone house.
Oh, I just went past it all the time, and it was just cool.
And they get pissy about it?
What? No.
Really?
Well, personally, I think that it should just be no one should live in it. It should be a museum.
It should be put in a museum.
Yeah.
It should be in a museum.
Quite frankly.
Itself.
But onto the movie itself. So, the one thing about this movie, and I think this is kind of foregone conclusion, is it's perfectly put together.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies where you couldn't really have imagined it working out any other way than the way it did.
Well, I mean, first of all, the movie starts out and you're just immediately thankful and reminded of the fact that somehow, some way, John Williams found his way onto this picture. The opening titles, you're like, God damn, this is just such a brilliantly ornate score. I can't believe for years I didn't realize it was him. It was like, I think I was in middle school or high school when I first realized, holy fuck, John Williams did this score for Home Alone. That's why it's so fucking good.
Is it an exaggeration to say that this has the best score of any comedy movie ever?
I don't think it is. I mean, because like there are movies that have like pretty like good themes. Like the Ghostbusters theme is like, but that's like a soundtrack song.
And
or like
Todd Rundgren's got some cool stuff going on in Dumb and Dumber, but it's
and then like what's the other one? Beverly Hills Cop. The theme song is good, but like there's like 6 or 7 songs in this like themes, motifs from the Home Alone score. That's like everyone knows that. Everyone knows the setting up song.
It's so part of the movie.
The opening titles, Somewhere in My Memory.
Yeah,
and that's just the songs from the first one.
Right. Well, not in addition to that, talk about great usage of soundtrack. There are so many songs that I cannot separate from this movie. When I hear Run, Run, Rudolph, I'm always thinking of them.
O'Hare Airport?
O'Hare Airport, all the time.
Whenever I hear fucking Brenda Lee rocking around the Christmas tree, I'm thinking about those mannequins rolling around on the train tracks and shit.
And a young Michael Jordan.
Poster.
Cardboard cutout. It's great. The other thing is, in addition to it being so put together perfectly, you know, the casting, the editing. Honestly, that's one thing that I noticed was really perfect about this, which is kind of weird to point out for this movie, but I've seen it so many times that I tried to pay attention. You know, I try to find something new each time I watch it. The editing and the pacing are so picture perfect.
The structure, too, is very fun. What a weird way to start, a weirdly unique but very iconic way to start the movie. You meet the villain in the first couple seconds of the movie, but it's not in the way you expect.
Right.
He's dressed up as a cop. You know, nowadays it would be like, here's the break-in scene where we set up the wet bandits and they're doing whatever. It's like, no, you see Joe Pesci on screen, he's a cop, and you're like, what's going on here? I thought he was the bad guy.
Right.
But it's all a ruse. It's a really brilliant way to introduce a villain.
But don't worry, your house is in good hands.
Yes.
Yes. Well, and that brings me to my next point. The ever-quotable movie that this is.
Oh, God.
The quotes, they're not only memorable, but they're quite literally a part of my everyday lexicon.
Yeah.
I repeat shit from this all the time.
Eminently quotable.
Have you heard of knocking? Flemwad? There's... The script for this is insanely good.
And it starts out very good. It sets up the family dynamic super well and the hectic nature of the event of them going to Paris and Joe Pesci desperately trying to figure out who the fuck lives in this house.
Right.
Do your parents home? Yeah. Do they live here? No. Like, it's just great
all kids,
wordplay.
no parents. Must be a fancy orphanage.
It's great.
Also, I like how they set it up that when Kevin's kind of this rambunctious little fella, and that he's kind of, you know, they set it up so like he feels, you know, whatever, like he's treated poorly, and he's kind of like a little bit bratty, I guess.
I am upstairs, dummy.
Yeah. The thing is that the parents don't like just take shit from him, because I feel like that's the thing like modern movies will do is like you hate the kid at the beginning because the parents aren't really parenting them. They try to parent Kevin. He's just a handful. You know?
They push back.
Yeah, exactly. There's pushback, so they set it up in a way where you can still find Kevin likable. Mm-hmm. It also sets up perfectly how he's excited about them to be completely gone.
I love how the happenstance of him not going along with them, it's kind of like it's all set up very carefully. He wants to go and he has to sleep with Fuller in the hide-a-bed or whatever.
Right.
He doesn't want to do that. Well, if you do that, you have to go sleep on the third floor or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't want to
then
do
you
that.
have to
It's scary
sleep up there with me.
Yeah, and he does sleep up there, but they forget him because he's alone up there. That's why they forget him. If he had just slept with whatever, they would have not forgot him.
Also, they throw out his ticket.
They throw out his ticket, exactly. The head count, it's like a wristwatch, or a very ornately tied Swiss wristwatch, where you're like, damn.
Talk about some great Chicago accents in that scene. What kind of gas mileage does this get?
Does he have 4-wheel drive?
I told you before, kid, don't bother me. Perfect.
Oh, my God. Yeah, no, for sure. And it's just, it's very well set up. The family dynamic is very well set up.
There's no wasted lines.
No,
the narrative is extremely tight.
Even the characters that are small have, like, pretty definable character traits.
That's what's the craziest thing about this movie. That's actually one thing I love about it. Every single little character, even if they have like 2 lines of dialogue, is amazing.
Yeah, you're like, I get this guy.
And seems so fleshed out, even for the little bits they're in it. Mm-hmm. I think particularly I like the checkout lady and the Santa Claus.
Oh my God, yeah, yeah.
It's like, why not? Because you're a stranger. Like, you kind of get her. She's kind of smarmy. She kind of sees through his charade, but doesn't really care enough to like really follow up on it.
I'm a big fan of Jimmy.
Santa Claus got a little get together. Yeah. It's late for a get together. Do
you remember Jimmy?
Oh,
Jimmy, stop that boy.
Shoplifter.
Yeah, he's just a good kid. He just wants to do right by his grandma. Probably.
Yeah, whatever. Jimmy, stop that boy.
Points to the like fattest cop in the area.
Yeah, of course.
Catch that child.
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good shit.
Well, and then let's not forget probably the best side character in the whole movie. Well,
Uncle Frank?
No, we had a few hits back in the day.
Oh, Gus Polinski.
Gus Polinski. You know, Gus Polinski and the Kenosha Kickers.
Polka King of the Midwest?
Yeah.
627 copies. In Chicago? Sheboygan.
We're real big in Sheboygan.
Yeah. Polka,
you want to know something interesting about him? He was the only person who was allowed to ad-lib his lines.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Because he made only some... I don't know if this is true. I heard he only made, like less than $1,000 and just shot in 23 hours or something, all of his scenes.
Dude, he is like John Hughes' muse. We talked about this with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Like, that guy and John Hughes were just simpatico with like the tone that they were trying to get across.
Well, it's amazing. You know the scene where he talks about leaving the kid in the parlor home? Mm-hmm. That was completely ad-libbed.
I love the end of that scene, too, where he's like, she's like, yeah, let's stop talking about this. And he's like, oh, you brought it up. I was just trying to make you feel better.
And what's funny about that is you can kind of tell, once you know that that's ad-libbed, you think, okay, I kind of get how she had that reaction, even if it's in character.
Can we talk about Catherine O'Hara?
Oh, man.
She is very much the rock from which the Church of Home Alone is built. Because she is at once kind of the pathos. If her performance doesn't work, the movie doesn't work. She's the mother that forgets her child at home on Christmas. You have to feel bad for her. You have to believe she actually feels bad for doing this thing. And you also have to find her funny. Yeah. Holy shit, she pulls it off. Somebody pick up. Pick up, pick up. It's...
Oh, hi, ma'am.
It's just... She does everything so goddamn well in terms of, like, the reaction of, like, what kind of mother am I? You really feel like she just absolutely feels like dog shit for this. But she's also so, like, this is Christmas. Yeah. The season of perpetual hope. Like,
that's what I was going to say is, like, she has a lot of lines where if, this is kind of what I was thinking. I couldn't imagine any other actress doing those lines.
Yeah.
She delivers lines that they're not badly written at all. It's just, if mishandled, could come across very clunkily.
And, like, make no mistake, it is the Kevin, Marv, and Harry show, but, like, man, Catherine O'Hara does not get anywhere near enough credit.
That's very true. You know who else doesn't get enough credit? The cinematographer.
Yes.
I mean, for a comedy, the way this is shot, there's those kind of gothic horror-esque shots.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, for the nighttime stuff, I love the way it's shot.
The South Bend Shovel Slayer stuff.
Yeah.
Very wide angle lens. Or
Yeah.
The fisheye lens type stuff.
Right.
We'd get a little bit more of that in Home Alone 2.
Right.
Maybe another review for another Christmas.
Perhaps. Well, that's another thing. I love the scene between him and Kevin in the church.
Yeah.
That's like, this movie, I would say this is what its biggest difference is from movies now. You know where movies most movies that come out now seem to be rather finite in their genre.
Right.
This really does a good job of bouncing between tones. And even though some of them, like, when you think about it, really could be considered jarring. Like, it's a family comedy with, like, dramatic moments, but it's also a kid, like, beating up on two grown men.
Yeah, it's like a slapsticky holiday coming of age family comedy.
Yeah,
drama.
it's a lot of things, but the reason it works is if a movie is good enough, you don't give a shit that it's changing tone here or there. If it's entertaining enough, you just question things less. And that's one thing I really think this movie does well.
I agree. Definitely.
Anyway, back to the salt or whatever.
Salt turns the bodies into mummies. Mummies.
Yeah, whatever. The South Bend Shovel Slayer. That's such a great scene because Kevin is... That's the part where Kevin's really growing up, is he realizes that he's got some growing up to do, but he can also help this old man reconnect with his family.
I also love in the background of that scene a really brilliant arrangement of O Come All Ye Faithful. And then they start playing an arrangement of one of the themes of fucking Home Alone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't notice this really until now, and it's kind of awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
But yeah, moving on from... I'm trying to think of what else. There's so much to talk about with this movie.
I guess just in the trivia department, I will point out that, how do I put this? There's a fantastic scene in Scranton.
Yes.
That guy...
Where the hell am I?
Yeah.
Scranton.
That dude is Karen Barkley's boss in Child's Play.
That's right.
Another Chicago joint.
That's right. He must be a local guy.
That must be. But yeah... I mean, that's another side character. I think it's the detail that makes the world feel lived in and authentic. That's what makes it work, even in spite of the blatantly farcical moments.
Right.
There's a way to have both, I think. And because I feel like movies shy so much away from trying to have really, really goofy moments if they think, oh, we got to play it close to the vest and make it realistic. Or if it... Otherwise, it's, oh, we got to make it all really crazy, It seems like it's very one or the other. This movie's just like, no, we're going to do whatever the hell we want as long as it works. And I think that's John Hughes' thing.
John Hughes invented the third act trap sequence that pretty much took over a lot of 90s cinema, I think. It started in Home Alone. We would see it graduate on to like movies like Mouse Hunt and Baby's Day Out and 101 Dalmatians, which is another movie that John Hughes wrote, or at least co-wrote. And should we talk the traps?
Yeah, let's do it.
Man, first of all, the setup music. It's one of the greatest songs in the history of scoring for cinema. Well, it's brilliant because it's a theme and it's kind of a theme and variation on Carol of the Bells.
Yeah,
you hear hints of it and parts of it, but it's just John Williams going fucking ham. I love the scene that.
Yeah.
God damn, it's just like the greatest John Williams flourishes all in one song.
Dude, this score is pretty intense.
And that scene, you're just like, shit's about to go down, motherfucker.
What's so great? That's what's so great about it is this much attention given to a score for this kind of movie. It's almost too good to be true.
Oh, yeah.
So these traps, though.
What I love is that it's weird. I've never read Roger Ebert's review on this, but I'm assuming he probably had issues with the depiction of the violence and the fact that it involves children. That's just a guess. But, like, what I really loved about this is how it really does thread the needle of, like, no, this kid is using household items well, not very realistically, but, like, kind of just, like, sort of almost, like, it's about blood splatters and away from being real. Like, there's bruises and shit and burns, but, like, obviously when he steps on the nail, there's not blood gushing out of his foot or anything, but, like, you see it go in. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like it perfectly blends being gruesome and like, oh god, that looked like it really hurt, but also being slapsticky and PG. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a movie that actually can make that kind of balancing act the way this has.
Well, I think that harkens back to what I was saying earlier, is that this movie just does a lot of good things when it comes to a balancing act.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like it's just not as common anymore as people. Suspension of disbelief is such a weird thing because I feel like you could have a movie that's really, like, if you were, like, for me at least, when I really hate a movie, I'm going to start to pick it apart more and more, and I'm going to be like harsher and harsher if I really can't stand a movie about suspension of disbelief. But if I'm having a good time, I just don't give a shit. I'm willing to go with it.
Right.
And I think, like, the main point is the traps are just supposed to hurt.
Yeah.
And I guess it wouldn't be very funny if they're just dead.
Yeah. I mean, you could poke holes in this movie all you want. Like, why doesn't Kevin really call the police? It's like, well, he thinks he made his family disappear. Who the fuck cares? Like,
he's scared of the cops because he's a criminal. He stole the
toothbrush. He's scared of the cops. He doesn't want to go to jail.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a bunch of shit like that you could really, if you really want to try, like, rip the movie apart. But
that just means you suck at life.
Yeah, it does. I also think
there's two types of people in the world. The aforementioned people who suck at life, and then there's people who think Home Alone is a classic film.
I also honestly think that the traps, these ones are a lot more like, okay, I can kind of see, like, there's a suspension of disbelief here, like, all right, he got his head burned by a blowtorch, but he put his head in the snow, whatever, it's like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Right.
Home Alone 2 is where we start to get into, like, all right, he threw a brick at his head from 2 stories up.
Like, he is dead.
Yes, but, like, even then, like, it's a different review. But still, this one I think gets away with a lot less. Because it's like, oh, he fell down the stairs. Or, oh,
yeah,
he got hit with a paint can. It's like, I'm sure that's happened to people and they haven't gotten killed.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not in the same night as falling down the stairs or burning their hand or head, but still,
I
getting shot in the balls with a BB gun.
You want to know what's amazing about the BB gun scene?
What's that?
Well, not only Joe Pesci's reaction, but the use of racking focus when he sticks his head through. That's what I'm talking about. There's a way to make comedy a damn art form. And that shot is beautiful. Boom, the racking focus from the guy.
Oh.
Yeah. Ow! I'm telling you.
Some of the reactions to the pain, too, are just like, that actually sounds like it really, like they really hurt him.
Yeah.
Like the scene where Joe Pesci burns his hand and he's falling back. He's like, ow! And I'm like, that actually sounds like he's in fucking pain. And it's part of the fun. You're like, Jesus Christ, he fucking got him.
Yeah. Also, fun fact about the tarantula. He had to dub the scream. That scream is classic, by the way.
It's brilliant. It's one of the greatest vocal talents I've ever seen is the Daniel Stern Marge scream. I swear to God. Oh, man, it's great.
See, he couldn't scream when the spider was on his face because they're sensitive to sound, so he'd bite. So they had to dub the scream.
So he just opened his mouth and did nothing.
Yeah.
I also love the scream when he steps on the nail. He steps on the nail on the stairs. God damn. Daniel Stern not being in more shit after Home Alone is going to haunt me for the rest of my life.
Guys give up, or are you thirsty for more?
Oh, my God. It's eminently quotable.
That's what I mean. There's like, I say that quote all the time. Like, if I'm, like, playing, like a video game with someone, I'm, like, kicking their ass, and I'm feeling cocky, I'll bust that one out.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
I was going to say, look what you did, you little jerk. I think that was the most perfect. That's one of the most perfect moments to encapsulate being a kid. Mm-hmm. You know, when he goes through all the memories of what they've all said, and it's worse.
Yeah.
Because look what you did, you little jerk. Look what you did, you little jerk. Kevin, you're such a disease. There's 15 people in this house, and you're the only one that has to make trouble.
It's kind of like Christmas Story.
Yeah.
You'll shoot your eye.
Exactly. That's like... That's such a great depiction of everything so much more dramatic when you're a little kid.
There's also an Uncle Frank related joke that I kind of really didn't get until this recent viewing. I kind of always just like it went in one ear and one ear and one out the other.
What's that?
If you will. It was the joke where he says, Kevin walks in and is like, everyone's watching a movie, but Uncle Frank won't let me. And then Catherine O'Hara goes, Kevin, if Uncle Frank says it's bad, then it must be pretty bad. I'm like, oh, I never got that joke before. Like, that's like alluding, like, yeah, Uncle Frank's kind of a fucking weirdo.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like, if he says it's bad, then you shouldn't fucking watch it, Kevin.
And he is a rather a cheapskate.
He is a huge cheapskate.
Put it.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, yes. Fill her up. Yeah. And then you can't forget one of the best parts about this movie. What the hell is it called? Angels with Filthy Souls. AC ain't in charge no more.
AC said 10%.
Yeah. The fact that they specially shot that just for this movie.
I always thought that was an actual movie.
A lot of people did.
Not a movie.
But it's because I think they used an old set or something, and they made sure to find all the shit to make it look like an old set.
Yeah, old cameras.
Yeah. They really went the whole 9 yards on making just this fake movie scene.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
There's so much good shit in this movie. Like I know it's like part of it is like it is a subjective score, and like I can't separate the nostalgia I have for this movie. I can't do it. But I also can look at relatively objective elements of the movie, like the pathos, the brilliant genre blending, the comedy, the brilliant performance work from all of the actors involved. It's the score, the way the movie's constructed on a technical level, the set pieces. It's undoubtedly one of the best of its kind, and I have to give it credit. And not just in it being a nostalgic masterpiece in my own mind, but as just a fantastic, incredible film overall.
I'd agree with that, and I think part of that comes in the fact that I've watched this year after year. And even movies I love, sometimes I'll have to take little breaks from them. Mm-hmm. And I took a 1 year break from this, and I brought it back, and I was like, wow, what a treat this was to watch.
Dude, I used to fucking have a TV in my room, and I would cycle movies like for months on end. Like what I would be watching, like put on to fall asleep as white noise. This was one of them, and it's still like I watch it, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I get something new out of it every time.
And the fact that you can get repeat viewings out of this movie speaks to its classic status. So that'll do it for our review of Talking Furnace. And now it's time for album recommendations, and we're going to do some Christmas ones. I'm going to suggest Vince Guaraldi's Peanuts Christmas. It's got a couple of real good tracks. Lucy and Linus, which is, of course, commonly referred to as the Peanuts theme. And I forgot what it's called, but it's the one with the, ice skating, I think. I mean, it's music that sounds like snow is falling. It's fucking brilliant. What do you got?
My album is Nat King Cole's, any Christmas album by Nat King Cole. There's a lot of different versions. The one I have is called The Christmas Song.
Okay.
And it features the greatest Christmas song of all time, the titular Christmas song. I love that fucking song. Nat King Cole's the man. That just puts me right back.
I hear that. That's a good one. All right, so that'll do it for this episode of Bonus Features with Alex and Robert. I'm Alex.
And I'm Robert.
So thank you for listening. I'll see you guys next time. If you like what you heard, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop us a line. You can talk to us on our various social medias that include Facebook, YouTube, Spotify,
iTunes.
And the
Shout Engine and Twitter.
And Twitter. Yeah. But mostly Spotify, Shout Engine, and the other
iTunes.
ones. Yeah. and all those good things. So see you guys next time.